Apple has launched its self-service repair website, where you can order parts and tools for recent iPhones and access repair manuals. It's a nice move to see, and the ability to buy original parts is something right to repair advocates have been asking for a while. But some users seem disappointed by the limited offerings and see it as too little, too late. Let's take a look at what's there, what isn't, and what it takes to get your iPhone fixed using genuine parts. Let's start with what the website offers. Currently, it offers replacement parts for the third generation iPhone SE, the iPhone 12 lineup, and the iPhone 13 lineup. For the supported products, the site offers replacement batteries, bottom speakers, cameras, displays, SIM trays, and Taptic engines. The site also offers first-party repair tools. You can purchase individual tools or rent a device-specific kit. The tools range from more common torque drivers and adhesive cutters to specialty heated display removal tools and presses. When I first looked at the prices, I was slightly surprised by how high they are. Some of them are roughly on par with bringing a device to Apple and getting a first-party repair. But the credit received for returning the replaced part should be considered. The credit amount varies based on the specific component, about $25 for a battery, $30 for a screen, and over $50 for a camera, as high as $67 for the iPhone SE camera. That brings the price for the component down from $111 to $44. Definitely cheaper than having Apple repair it. While that credit alone is nice, it's also important as it helps ensure that the components can be recycled properly. Apple has its own iPhone disassembly robots to take apart iPhones so they can be recycled. And this credit for returned components provides an incentive for people to return broken components for recycling, rather than them ending up in a landfill. That's especially important for the lithium batteries. They can be a fire hazard and shouldn't be placed in standard garbage or recycling bins. We often cover improvements in lithium battery recycling over on electric. As the need for high-density energy storage continues to grow, with increased adoption of electric vehicles and grid storage solutions, there's a growing need for lithium, and battery recycling is a part of that solution. More recycling facilities are being announced on a seemingly regular basis, so providing a credit for returns is an excellent way to incentivize the environmentally friendly action that can help make batteries for new phones and cars. One of the many complaints at launch has been how limited the part selection and device support is. You can go onto apple.com today and buy a brand new iPhone 11, but if you drop it tomorrow, you can't buy the replacement screen. Apple announced the creation of the site last year, so I would have hoped they would launch it with support for more devices. While it's easy for tech enthusiasts to look at the devices we have in our pocket and say, well, people should upgrade anyway. Plenty of people don't want to and shouldn't have to buy a new phone every year or every other year. If the device they have works for them, why upgrade rather than just fixing it and reducing e-waste? Apple's own paper released as the site launched highlights the extended life of Apple products, noting that iPhone 12s and 13s retain more of their value than any other smartphone models released the same year. Hopefully, as new iPhones are released, parts for older ones remain on the site, and the support will expand to even older devices. There are plenty of people using iPhone 11s, 10s, and even earlier devices that could use replacement parts. The program also doesn't have parts available for any of Apple's laptops or other devices, just iPhones. In the announcement, Apple said that they plan to add support for Apple Silicon Macs later this year. Even for the supported devices though, there are a number of repairs that the site doesn't provide parts for, including for the buttons and Lightning port. All that said, I see this as an important step forward for Apple, but certainly not the last they should take. Louis Rossmann is a well-known YouTuber and advocate for right to repair. He runs his own repair shop, with his specialty being MacBook repairs. He performs board-level repairs, replacing individual chips on motherboards to address specific issues. He's been fairly critical of Apple's move, and has expressed concern that Apple may use this program as a reason why right to repair legislation is not necessary.
In my opinion, this program is designed as something that they can show legislators to say, look, we already did what you asked. Why are you forcing us to do anything else? If this program were actually intended to be useful, it would have parts to phones that are, like 2.5 years old, that the point at which phone batteries actually start to die.
Apple's hardly encouraging its customers to repair their own devices. Not in the slightest. Apple's paper, Expanding Access to Service and Repairs for Apple Devices, goes over the different ways that customers can get their devices repaired. First-party repairs by Apple, either by mail or in an Apple store. Apple-authorized service providers. Independent repair providers. And the new self-service repair. The first part of the self-service repair section talks about who shouldn't use the program. Quote, "For the vast majority of customers, the safest and most reliable repair is achieved through an Apple Store or one of the thousands of Apple-authorized service providers and independent repair providers around the world. Repairing modern electronic devices that are complex, highly integrated, and miniaturized isn't easy, and these technicians have the expertise, training, parts, and tools to get the repair done right." The ability to use Apple's first-party tools and guides makes it easier for anyone to fix their own devices. But it's admittedly hard to argue that it's the best solution for most people who would prefer to just have someone else deal with it. But let's take a look in the actual repair manual, in this case, the iPhone 13 Pro Max, and see what it has to say. After you get through the table of contents and warning, you should get to the part about ordering parts, and it has a code in it. In order to purchase replacement parts, you have to type in the corresponding code. Personally, I don't think that's an awful solution. It's a good way for Apple to cover their bases to make sure that any person opting to fix their own iPhone has at least read the initial warnings. However, when ordering parts, you don't just need the manual ID. You need the serial number or IMEI number of the device that you'll be replacing the parts in. That serial number must match the serial number of the return part in order to get the credit. I found the actual repair instructions to be incredibly thorough. The manual goes into detail with each step, including lots of additional warnings and tips to ensure even someone who has never repaired a phone before can get by. There are 31 steps to remove a display, and then another 30 to add a new one. And every repair in there is just as detailed. Once you're done with the physical repair though, you're not necessarily finished. If you replaced a display, battery, or camera, you need to complete a system configuration. The manual redirects you to Apple's self-service repair support for instructions on the system configuration, which then requires you to reach out to the support team by chat or phone to get the process started. The manual talks about how system configuration is needed to transfer calibration values or link biometric authentication data. While that's fair enough, it would be really nice if this software tool could be streamlined to not require reaching out to the support team to finalize a repair. You even need to specially reach out to the support team when you're returning a replaced battery. Reaching out to support has been made a necessary part of repairs. But that's not Apple's own team you're reaching out to. The self-service repair website is its own thing for a reason. It's run by a third party. If Apple really wanted to push this new offering, it could have integrated replacement part sales directly within the Apple Store. That would have made the process much more straightforward. As it is, you have to order the parts from selfservicerepair.com, which sends you to apple.com to download the manual. The specific PDFs push you to Apple's support page to initialize the system configuration process, which then sends you back to the self-service repair website in order to reach out to their support team. Apple could have created a one-stop shop for all things Apple repair, but instead they walled it off behind a separate domain with limited device and part support. I haven't even touched on the lack of board-level repairs or the lack of schematics, but that's a bit more Louis Rossmann's specialty, and he went into detail on that when he covered the launch of the service. While I've been quite critical of the self-service repair program, I truly believe it's a positive step forward for the company. I just also think that there's plenty of room to improve, and that the service as it's available today is not the best that Apple could have created. Having Apple's official parts and tools available for purchase by individuals who can follow Apple's detailed instructions will allow customers to feel more confident when performing their repairs. Now, hopefully, as Apple releases new devices, they will keep consumer repairs in mind and expand the program to more of their devices and components. Now, what are your thoughts on this? Will you give repairing your iPhone a try? Let me know in the comments down below.